they're kind of sneaking off to do this, and they don't really like speak. It's more they kind of communicate with their eyes and they communicate with their bodies, and that's sexy.
You're a cloudless sulfur butterfly, medium, green, and hungry. You prattle about the prairie, a guest of the wind as much as a master of it. It's been days since you've seen a female. Something within tells you soon they will all be gone. Sap and nectar don't do it anymore. A deeper voice demands you seek. 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 The wind gives you guidance to a bush with a crimson puddle. You drink the rich, warm liquid. 2 sips eliminate the inner drought. 4 sips bring you a vigor. 8 sips, you soar.
Snap, snap, snap.
Welcome to Dove Weather.
The AP experience. It's been days since you've seen a female.
That's right. That's right. I am one of your hosts, AP, and I am joined by
Marcy.
Today, we have a little bit of a topic that's been rattling around in my brain, and it's this idea of cute and sexiness.
Yeah, the real binary.
The only one I'll upkeep, I'll tell you that. So, I want to start like this. When the word cute comes up, what do you think of that?
I definitely think about flowers and sparkles and, beautiful hair. Definitely femininity for me.
And does sexiness kind of hold a similar space?
I mean, I think there's overlap, but I think that like sexiness, I think about the Muna music video that we discussed in one of our first great episodes. The music video for What I Want. Now that's sexy.
I see that. I'm coming from a different place, right? As a guy,
as a dude,
in this globe of this podcast, you're the feminine. I'm going to go ahead and say northern hemisphere, and I am the masculine southern hemisphere.
Yeah, which hemisphere is Nomi?
She's the equator.
Okay.
And to me, the idea of cute and the idea of sexy they're kind of nebulous concepts to me. I think about myself and I think about others and I think about objects and so on. And I feel like I could define things as cute or sexy. Like we got a little plushy turtle here. Well, you do, and that's a cute object, right?
Absolutely, yes. A child sewed this, and I bought it at a farmer's market.
Nice. Handmade artisan. And then there's the immortal poster that we have gone to a couple of times of Twin Peaks. And in it, there's, outside of the horror and terror that is being portrayed, there is some sexiness to it.
Yeah, definitely. It's a Japanese Twin Peaks The Return poster. You got like 3 different Kyle MacLachlans at least in here. And, Laura Dern. And it's basically like, it's kind of divided into 2 sections. The left side is black. The right side is red. And damn, just look at like Laura Dern. Like one of her legs is in the black and white side. The other leg is in the red side. Both of her shoes are red. Damn, that's sexy.
And to be clear, Laura Dern is one of the sexiest people alive.
Yes.
Maybe even in history. And so I want to spend this podcast talking about this feeling of cute versus sexy. Because I am in a little bit of a crossroads right now.
Yeah.
I am sitting here looking at 2 directions. One that says cute, and Hello Kitty's like, yo, hey, we got cocktails over here. Swing on by. And then on the other side, there's a sexy road that I can take, paved with gold and with what seems to be a tapered haircut at the end of it. Two very different locations. And I'm in a position where, which one should I take?
Yeah, I feel like this is perfect because we're in the middle of an election, and there's a lot of memes of like people at a crossroads, and they're trying to decide between like Project 2025 and essentially everything that Biden represents on the other side. It's continuing genocide, and then it starts like an argument of people being like, well, no matter what, we're going to continue the genocide in Palestine. It's like, the fact that like we're resigned to that is like awful. But I also like when people use that meme for like anime stuff, because I feel like that's a lot of what that meme is for. Are you familiar with this meme?
Yeah. Figure is standing on two roads, and there's like a light castle and a dark castle.
Yep.
Yeah. I think it might be a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Potentially, yeah. The dark castle is sexy, the light castle is cute for you.
Or vice versa.
Or vice versa, I guess. Like a dark cuteness, that'd be interesting.
Listener, you gotta understand something about me here. I think I've pretty much my whole life been denied the purview of cute. I think most people would say that I'm more on the other side of that, on the sexy part of that. And that's a little bit of a odd situation to be in, because I would like to be cute.
This is interesting because I feel like a lot of people are kind of on the opposite side, where they're tired of being called cute and they're like, I want to be sexy, and they're like, what do I need to do to get sexy? But you kind of have like a unique outlook on this.
Yeah. You see, I'm not gonna confirm my height here. I will not be doing that. You have to meet me in person.
4'3".
I'm a fairly tall man, and that I think is a huge barrier to like cuteness. I think, or specifically for me. I'm gonna be honest with you, listener. I don't know how to have this conversation. It feels very personal to me, in a way that I can't fully describe. But I want to just talk about it, and I want my friend Marcy here to help me through it. So yeah, like I think most people would describe me as handsome, and that's not to be a braggart or anything. That's just because I live in the Midwest. And here, if you have a clean ass, you're doing better than most people.
This is the second time I've heard AP say that, and every time I'm like, damn it, what? He's not wrong. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, I feel like that's the first feeling we have when we like compliment ourselves. Like, oh, what if people think that I'm like bragging about ourselves? But come on, in 2024, we can talk ourselves up. We can be like, AP can say I'm handsome, Marcy can say I'm sexy, and our haters are just gonna have to starve.
Yeah, starve in the sexless lane.
Yeah, I appreciate you, AP, saying that it's hard to talk about this, because I think saying that will hopefully make it easier to talk about this, because like sometimes the things that are hard to talk about are like things that will get us closer to where we need to go. And I think I think we're on this journey together, and I'm excited to go on it.
Right. And I appreciate that. One of the reasons why it's hard, it's not a lack of ego or confidence. Marcy can attest.
Yeah, AP's got an ego.
It really is more of a it's not a constant for me. Like I don't turn heads, no one really comments on my looks or my visage in most of my day to day. So I think pointing it out makes it feel unearned.
And I think another part of this is because you're trying to access your cuteness, and that's something that is kind of frowned upon for men. You're taking the masculinity you have when you're trying to convert it to something. Not necessarily convert it to femininity, but you're definitely trying to outwardly show up as something like maybe society tried to teach you not to be when you were younger.
Yeah. And society, to me, it's two different societies, the Mexican culture and the American culture. And neither one of them are accommodating for a a dark-featured man like myself to be cute. And it's a strange position to be in.
Yeah.
Not to make this I don't want this podcast to be all feminine and masculine, gender. I don't want it to be that. But it is here. It is present. I did grow up in a macho culture. I did grow up in a toxically masculine culture.
Yeah, we're going back to the Richard Pryor episode with Macho Man.
And Richard Pryor, I think in a way, I see him come in and out of this sense of cute and sexy, both in his stand-up and it definitely the way that he writes about his life, where he just got laid a lot.
I mean, yeah.
He was a sex symbol.
Fucking Marlon Brando is pretty sexy.
True. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's a legendary lay right there.
I mean, and like Richard Pryor being able to like talk about sex on stage is sexy. Even though some of it like is a little bit, cringy. That wouldn't be the word I would use at the time, but like, the fact that he's talking about like how he doesn't, he only wants to like have sex with a woman for a little bit and then he doesn't want to do it anymore. He doesn't want to have to care about her pleasure. He's still like sexy, I think partially just because he's so physical on stage. Like he just puts his entire body into it and his entire he uses everything inside him.
Yeah. And you seeing Richard Pryor to compare me here, like maybe you can confirm, like I'm a very I'm a slow mover. Like I'm not energetic. I'm not animated in my normal being.
Yeah. I mean, I think that you sometimes do get animated. Like if we're at a party and you're about to explain some lore about tequila and how to drink it, you're going to want to gather everyone together and you're going to want to get everyone's attention. But I think I see what you're saying.
That's actually something I haven't thought about. This idea of like showmanship and how that might fit into this larger dichotomy of cute versus sexy.
Okay, I wasn't expecting to ask this, but do you know your big three for astrology?
No clue.
Okay, because I will say that I relate to the showmanship, but I specifically relate to it in my moon sign, which is a Leo. I am a Leo moon, Aquarius sun, and Taurus rising. And like Leo moon basically means like I'm not going to show up, like people aren't going to think like, oh, obviously Marcy's a Leo. But when I go up on the karaoke stage and I am like putting my entire like soul into it, that's like the Leo part of it. That's like the type A that comes out. But like it only comes out sometimes. So I think we're going to have to figure out what AP's big three is before the next episode.
Yeah. I simmer at a Sagittarius. And I think I am in a place where I want to be cute. And I would like to express that more and more. Not just because I'm in this like journey to figure out exactly what my boundaries in my sexuality are, but kind of overall, it feels like everything around us, everything minor and major, feels like in a position of yearning for transition, for change.
Yeah, everyone is trans, and everyone's going to start HRT. So
yeah. 2025, we're all doing HRT. The cool kids are doing it.
Absolutely.
And I'm also in this place, and this is part of that. I want to talk to you about what cuteness and sexiness are. And in search of that, I've read a bunch. I did a bunch of reading.
Yeah, AP is like, how do I get more cute? I'm just gonna throw my head into a book.
Yes, I'm gonna put on some glasses. I'm gonna put my hair up. I'm gonna look like No, I'm falling into a sexy librarian. And so I want to start like this. I am a man.
True.
And there is this myth, this decades, if not, decades old myth of the man as the hunter versus the woman as the gatherer. But this is a myth. It's not real. It's not backed by any historical or anthropological or evidence. And that's because when you live in a world where your meal does not come and then you get a picture of it on your phone and then you sneakily walk downstairs to grab it from the doorstep and you actually have to go hunt it, you kind of need all hands on deck just to feed people.
This reminds me that when I go to the grocery store to get food, Nomi thinks that I'm hunting, and when I come back, she's meowing at me because she's like, "You got the food, right? I'm so glad you're alive, but also I want food now."
And to Nomi, it's like, you're bringing that much tuna in this can? You could just not put it in this can.
Yeah, Nomi is sitting peacefully next to me right now, but we'll see how long that lasts. Nomi's going to hear all this cute, sexy talk, and she's like, "But I am the cutest one here. Why aren't you paying attention to me?"
Yeah, and humans they're likelier to produce bonds with other men, with other male apes. And this isn't as common in the natural world. Human men are prone to make boys, to hang out with dudes, and to actually care for children, which is just not common. And in the inverse, women are kind of stereotyped into doing that already.
Women do be shopping. This is how I'm riffing on what AP's talking about. He's talking about gender roles, and I'm like, how do I make the hackiest joke possible?
In reality, hunter-gatherer societies, they share everything. It's purely about sharing. You need to share with your brood or with your honey because you want them to be healthy enough to continue to live and hang out and be cool and live free.
Yeah. I've recently read a book for Queer Book Club, and I don't even know if I want to say the title on the podcast, but
it's got a racial slur on it.
I'll just say it, and I'll decide later if I want to bleep it out. It's called "The Faggots and Their Friends Between Revolutions," and one of the parts in there is about how you have to share. And it's a book written in the 70s that they talked about in the foreword or the afterword that people cut out pages of the book and framed them, and they talked about someone framing the page that basically said that in order to receive you have to share.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what hunter-gatherer societies did. I'm not a scholar, but some of the scholarly articles that I read mentioned that, which I see it in my own life. I'm prone to share my resources, and I like when people also share theirs. I think that's beautiful. So there's that. And sharing is this idea of transference in between people. A material specifically, but in the 21st century, we can also say that is psychological. You share things, you share pain, you share anxiety for everything happening around. And I love that because that shows that deep down there's this malleability to all of us. And that malleability, I believe, that malleability is central to this idea of cute and sexy. I think to start off, the idea of a hunter in the hunter-gatherer society, I think it's coded as a sexy subject in both literature. I mean, just look at like Conan the Barbarian, for example. So like I talk about this archetype of a muscular, like sexy man, because we kind of know what that is. That's kind of the standard.
It's like the muscly guy in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood who's always shirtless.
Exactly. Like some in part of my research, there's a definition of like what sexiness is in the 2010s that I really like. And it's just a description of, a lean man. Maybe not someone with like huge muscles, but with musculature visible. And I can tell you right now, listener, I am not that. I am not a lean man with like defined musculature. Everybody has muscles, but like I don't have a six-pack ab.
Yeah. I do think that, like, I mean, of course, I'm just going to keep going back to Survivor. Like, on Survivor, it used to be that, like, first of all, the cast was almost all white. And then, like, they would basically just have, like, the same, like, almost everyone, like, 80% of the cast looks the same. Like 40% of the cast are, like, women in bikinis who have similar builds. And then the other 40% are just, like, 20 to 30-year-old men who like all basically look exactly the same and like all have muscles, and then you have like the 20% of the cast that's like actually interesting. And of course, like as time has gone on, first of all, Survivor introduced the diversity like quotas essentially, where half the cast has to be people of color. But also I feel like we, over time we have gotten like more body types, and I'm glad that like at least in some instances of the world, like there, like America isn't like just having this very thin idea of like what is the person that you want to see on your TV. But yeah, we obviously have more ways to grow.
One of the things about the 2010s is this rise of this slender, fit, muscular man. Mm-hmm. And I think the kind of the person that fits that is Ryan Reynolds.
Uh-huh.
Like he's built. He's got some muscles to him, but he's not like a bodybuilder. Mm-hmm. Like if you look at a bodybuilder, they have gigantic muscles. That's the whole point. But if you look at the beauty standard in the male sphere, I think Ryan Reynolds fits it. In my research, that's kind of what it is, a slim, muscular man. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I am not that. So we know what a kind of a sexy like man is, right?
Or what society wants us to think a sexy man is.
Right. So, and to make it personal, like, even though I don't fit that, I am generally, like, I am not seen as a heavyset man, as a fat man. I am seen as what I like to call Midwestern thin.
Midwestern thin. I like that.
Like I got a punch to me, I will confirm that. Not my height, but I will confirm that. And so the question is, what is cute?
Yeah.
If we know what sexy is, what is cute?
Definitely. Cuteness, I feel like it's almost like a feeling that you get in your heart when you look at something. Mm. Like sexy, that's like, like I feel like the definition is almost in the word. Like, you want to have sex with whatever you're looking at. But cuteness, it's more like babies are cute and cats are cute.
So the way that some of the scholarship that I read talks about a large head or like a large eyes and like big cheeks in short and thick extremities. Like this sounds like a baby, right?
Yeah, so I can't stop thinking about a large head. Like, find me the largest head in the world, and I'm gonna call that cute.
And I want you to know right now, listener, I got a gigantic head. And like it's not just those things. It's not just body size. It's also like color and like texture, sound even. Like there is a lot that goes into what cute is. But it's that like we could think of a kitten or a puppy or a baby, and so much of the scholarship that I read always hits on that. Even this turtle we have here, it hits on those aspects. A big head, big eyes, short and thick, stubby, fins, I guess.
Yeah, these fucking academics, they're like, we gotta create the definition of cuteness, and then everything that doesn't fall into that, like that's just gonna fall by the wayside. Like, I don't care if your head is small and if your eyes are even smaller, like you can't be cute anymore because I'm an academic. I'm super stuffy and I know better than you.
Yeah. Exactly. So cuteness, though, like that definition of cuteness, how does it overlay onto like an adult man? Like I might have a big head. I don't think I have like stubby, short arms and legs. On contrary, frankly, I have some long legs and some long arms.
Long legs. We got some Nicolas Cage fans in the house.
We can't just think of it as a dichotomy. It's not just this or that. What it really is a relationship, a negotiation in between subject and object, or subject and observer. One of those ways of seeing is that, like, if I were to pick up a kitten per se, the cuteness of a kitten would be kind of transferred to me, and I would be seen as cute or cuter.
Yeah, I mean, in my mind, AP is trying to figure out this direction of cute or sexy, and to my mind, I like this idea of transference because, like, for instance, if AP, like, if our fans made a fan cam of AP, like they could make AP sexy. Like, they could like set it to a Charlie XCX song, and like you could play it in between performances at Pitchfork Festival, and people wouldn't know what the fuck was going on, but they'd be like, "Damn, who's that sexy person they got to do that?" But then instead, if you just put on the screen AP holding Nomi, they'll be like, "Oh, that's cute."
Yeah, and that's a mandate. You gotta. Like there might not be enough images of me out there, but draw them.
Yeah, it's gonna be like when Drake did that concert after he released the Meek Mill discs, and like it was just all memes about Meek Mill on the videos. It was all crowdsourced.
The cute and sexy is a negotiation. There is this transference that happens. If you have something cute next to something else, it might get a little cuter. And one of the ways that this is understandable is like when there's a baby around, you might start to get into some baby speak. Or even if you like talk to your dog or cat, you might talk to them like a little bit of a like in baby talk.
Yeah, that definitely happens with Nomi sometimes. But yeah, I'm not gonna let that happen on the podcast. Of course not. Why would I do that? Right, Nomi? Right, Nomi? Right, baby?
The cuteness is transferable, and the sexiness is actually heightened because of that. I want to play a little game with you.
Okay.
I have collected some images, And I want you to tell me cute or sexy.
Okay. So, we got Chris Pratt on the left side. It's like pre-workout, probably like around when he did Parks and Rec. He's wearing like an American flag. American flag swim trunks. On the right side, he's taking like some sort of mirror selfie. He's got muscles. This is probably when he got buff for Guardians of the Galaxy. And he's wearing like dark blue shorts. So I think the conventional wisdom would say left side is cute, right side is sexy.
You're hitting on something there. Because cuteness is not just a relationship in between like two different things. It's not me and a kitten. Cuteness can also arise from a transformation.
Yeah.
So you have an image of who Chris Pratt used to be and who Chris Pratt is now. And you as a lesbian aren't attracted to this man.
I'm not really attracted to either side. I do remember people at the time kind of defending the pre-workout Chris Pratt, being like, hey, I found him sexy back then. What are you talking about? We don't need anyone to get buff. And especially because I think that Chris Pratt has gotten less funny over time. He's become a worse actor over time. Like, he kind of like peaked in talent like when he was on Parks and Rec, like season 3 onward. Well, I mean, it's probably season 2 through 4 was a sweet spot, in like the first Guardians movie, and then after that, he did the Jurassic Park movies, and then he's just phoning it in.
Yeah, but you see how like by pure transformation here, internal transformation, still the same man, still technically the same man. Just one of them is chiseled. We are looking at some abs right now and some pecs, and this guy is fit. He's not as like muscly as like Rambo might be, but he's chiseled.
Yes.
And in comparison, when you look at the what I will describe lovingly as pudgy version of him, he looks cuter. And that's because the image has changed, but the image lasts. This internal aspect of cuteness is something very deep to where I'm at right now. I used to look a certain way, now I look a different way. But this is true for me almost every 5 years of my life. I've always changed almost every 5 years of my life. And I just see this and I immediately think, yes, Chris Pratt in these shorts is cute.
Yeah.
Not in a way that I am attracted to him. I'm not. But in a way where, in comparison, and him, chiseled, just looks hotter now.
To a lot of people, he does.
Okay, so what is this next image we are seeing?
Okay. I don't want to get this wrong.
It's Jackie Chan.
Okay, I thought it was, but I was like, that's Jackie Chan, right? And he's wearing that's mesh, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's wearing mesh. He's like standing in front of what could be, kind of like The Usual Suspects poster.
There's just some lines in the background, but he's got his hair cut. It's still fairly long, swooshes over, covers his ears. But what our resident lesbian here isn't saying is that he looks fucking hot here.
He looks sexy here, yeah.
He's got a low-cut mesh shirt.
You can see his titties. I just wanted to get a better look at his titties. And the way that he's looking at you also, like it looks like he's really looking at me right now.
Yeah, and he's younger. I don't know exactly what age, but he's younger here. This very much in his like he's very much an athletic build. He was a gymnast. He was a traditional Chinese ballet guy. That's where he learned all of this.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if you showed me a picture and if you told me that I'm looking at a masked lesbian, I'd be like, okay, I can see that. Can I kiss her?
Imagine Jackie Chan as a masked lesbian. We must imagine Jackie Chan as a masked lesbian. So what are we seeing now?
Okay. Whoa. Okay, so we got some flowers on the head and we got like an interesting wrist.
We're still seeing Jackie
Chan, but like now like a more feminine. Well, see, it's like feminine in a different way. We don't see Jackie Chan's chest. You know, he's kind of leaning on his knee, like almost like a cheerleader thing.
I can tell you what's going on here. He is dressed up as a Street Fighter character named Chun-Li.
That makes sense. Yeah, so this is definitely more cute than sexy.
Chun-Li's a female fighter.
Uh-huh.
Jackie Chan is in the real world a male fighter. But here, you would say in the spectrum that we're talking about here.
Yeah,
he's cute.
He's definitely cute. I think it's possible for him to be sexy in this costume, but this specific picture, no. Partially because of the smile. Like the smile, like it's almost like a little bit goofy. Like it's and like if I scroll up, like that just looks like a very inviting face.
We're looking at a masked lesbian Jackie Chan.
That's like a face I want to kiss. If we scroll down, that's, I'm a little bit scared of this face, if I'm being honest. But yeah, like the attire is giving cute.
And it's supposed to be cute. This is part of a movie, and he acts out a very cute sequence. But in comparison, we have hot, sexy, and cute.
It also helps just like the color grading of these pictures. Like, this is warmer, and like the light is just hitting him in a way where it's like, damn. While this one, it's definitely colder, and yeah, definitely feels a little bit more sterile.
Okay, so let's go on to the next one. What are we seeing here?
There was a lot of discourse recently about like Daffy Duck versus Donald Duck, but I'm pretty sure this is Daffy Duck. Yes.
Do you only watch Survivor? Do you I feel like these are like famous.
I mean, they are, but like sometimes if I see something that this like
I am learning so much about Marcy.
But the thing is, like right here, this is not what we usually see Daffy in. Like, honestly, I'm like, is this racist? Like, is this, like...
It's not. Let me give you some more background. I looked up gangster Daffy Duck because as a Latino, I grew up with this image of Daffy Duck.
Oh, I see.
Not actual gangster. Like what? Like baggy shorts, baggy pants, like late 90s, early 2000s, like black urban attire. Where would you put him?
Cute.
Right? Like I would say this is a cute image. And then if we scroll down a little bit more,
well, obviously that's sexy. Like, yeah. Like the way that Daffy's posing, the clothes, the way that the back the back is completely showing off. Daffy's strutting, the eyebrow is raised, like the knowing smile. Yeah, that's very seductive.
So this is Daffy Duck, of course. This is a very famous meme. If you've been on the internet, you've probably seen this meme. It's you could look up Daffy Duck sexy like I did, and this image will pop up. But this is a very coquettish, very sexy look.
Yeah.
And once again, it is amplified with this cuter version of it. And so, let's scroll down one more. I'm just gonna tell you who it is.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna go ahead and assume you cannot recognize this person by face. This is Selena.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, I know who she is. Okay, this is sexy.
And you don't know who Jackie Chan looks like by image? I know what
Jackie Chan looks like. I was just like, the thing where like you're 90% sure you know who someone is, but that 10% you're like, if I fuck this up.
Describe this Selena.
Sexy as hell. Like she's wearing a top.
She's wearing a bustier.
Yeah, and it's shiny. She's wearing a sexy hat. She's wearing this like really cool belt, and she's wearing like black jeans.
Very tight jeans.
Yeah. And her arm is raised, and she's singing. She's got pink nails. Her lips are very pink, and she's got really nice earrings.
And we know, and we can say this is sexy. I mean, we already did, but we can say this is sexy. So let's see how sexier this gets. Ooh. Or let's just see what happens when we see this other image of Selena.
Okay. Yeah, I would say this is cute. Well, part of it is like we just see more of her body in the other picture. Like I don't know what's maybe maybe she's wearing a sexy skirt on the bottom half of this picture that we don't see, but she's smiling really widely. Her hand is like on like near her shoulder. She's wearing a very colorful top.
She's got a big smile.
Yeah,
A very big smile.
huge smile. Huge smile.
Even bigger hair.
Yeah, definitely big hair. And yeah, this is cute.
And in comparison, we can say cuter, even cuter because there is this transference of this sexy and cute, this negotiation of it.
Yeah.
And in these images, we can see that once we do see this gangster Daffy Duck, when you see the more coquettish version, you're like, yes, even though that these are characters, these are fake things, like we can identify when something is sexy versus cute. And when we see it on an actual human being, to me, after seeing this image of Selena being cute, the image of her being sexy is hotter. And vice versa. Like it's more attractive, I should say.
Yeah.
It produces a sense of I'm more attractive overall. And so, but this idea of cute and sexy aren't just like human or humanoid things. This sense can be transferred into anything. People who listening have looked at a chair and said that is a cute chair, or any other inanimate object. I want to show you something, and I want you to just kind of broadly tell the audience what you're seeing.
We got rubber ducky bopods. Isopod?
You focus on the weirdest things.
I know.
Do not understand how your brain works.
Part of it's like,
how are you jumping directly at that?
Because there are words I can
listener, there is in very small print on the top left of this image, just some words. But
there's something gross on screen. This is neither cute nor sexy, in my opinion. Like, what is it like? I'm not good at identifying animals. It's like kind of like it's like, is that a bug or a snail, or it's just something weird like that. It's got like these weird things coming out of its mouth.
This creature is called an isopod.
Isopod, yeah. This is ugly. Remember when you were talking about this is the moment where I'm like, this shit is ugly. Get off my screen. You're not cute or sexy or handsome.
Yeah. So I disagree. I think this is a very interesting looking thing. Like, I think you can apply this verbiage that we've been using to this. I'm not talking about sexual attraction to this. I'm talking about very simply, just as you can look at something inanimate and say that is cute, much like with this creature, you could say that, or might not say that.
Now I'm terrified. Is the next picture going to be a sexy isopod?
You tell the audience, what do you see?
Oh god. Well, first of all, yeah, it almost looks like there's like two creatures. There's like one creature and another creature. And is that like an isopod and a fish, or am I seeing?
Yes.
Yeah, an isopod and a fish. The fish is like gonna chomp down on this isopod.
One of the things that isopods do, one species of isopods do, is that they are parasitic. And what we're looking at here is a parasitic isopod that has eaten away the tongue of a fish, and is now acting as the tongue for the fish in a parasitic way. I don't think the fish likes it, like who wants it,
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the fish is a little bit sexy, like looks like it's almost got some glitter at the top. But yeah, that you cannot get me to say that this isopod is sexy.
I'm not trying to. What I am saying though is that by itself, this thing, kind of looks gross. I don't like insects. I don't like seafood either. But like this thing kind of looks gross. But to me, something happens here. When in comparison, when you have the bigger fish and you have the isopod, and this image is head on, so you're just kind of looking at their face. The Isopod kind of becomes cuter.
I can see where you're coming from. Yeah, like it's got like a cute little face. But yeah, that I'm still gonna say that fish is sexier than that isopod is cute.
I will leave that to you. and this kind of gets at what I'm saying. Cuteness and sexiness, it's a negotiation. It's not a solid state. And I that makes it even harder for me to decide which way. Where do I go? How do I get there? How do I become cuter? How do I become sexier? And the truth is, I will never be just one or the other. I don't think I can. But I can absolutely find a way to dip into cuteness and dip into sexiness.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I think like, my journey with cuteness and sexiness, after I came out as trans and I started wearing more colorful outfits, more dresses, more skirts, showing off a little bit more skin, I definitely felt cute at first, but over time, from people's reactions to me, I started feeling more sexy as well. And I feel like it's something where, like, for instance, if I share a thirst trap on Instagram, like I'm going to feel more sexy after that. And that sexiness can, like you say, have some transference to other photos that are maybe just a little bit more cute.
That's right. And I think if we take a step back here and just look at ourselves, we are in a constellation here. We're two stars in a constellation here. Mm-hmm. We're the two doves of dove weather. And wherever we go, like, you're going to look cuter than I will.
Thank you.
Like, you're a cute person. And I, as I've said before, I'm naturally a sexy person. Where you at? And wherever we go together, because we do hang out a lot, we enter this negotiation with all of the observers, where I think I make you cuter by being around you, and vice versa. I become sexier by being around someone who is just naturally cute.
I can see that. I think like like for instance, we do hang out a lot, like in spaces where there's mostly like queer people, and then like a large amount of lesbians. And if you just showed up in one of those spaces by yourself, we've talked off mic a lot about the discourse about like men going to lesbian bars and stuff. But because you have
which should be allowed, otherwise it's illegal.
Because we're such good friends, and because a lot of my friends know about the podcast, have seen images of us together on Instagram, that does soften you to them. So yeah, I definitely think it does make you more cute. I'm a little bit more skeptical about me hanging out with you makes me more sexy, because I think that I've already got that covered. But
the thing is, it's just about like the negotiation in between images, and it's not a question of you are cute or you're sexy. It's that what happens when my visage and your visage are in the same location, and what happens. But that's just an example. This is true for everyone. I used to look very differently 2 or 3 years ago. Not better, not worse, just different. And now I look like how you see in the Instagrams. So I am interested in expressing this cute side of me. And I don't really know how, but I have some inspiration. I have another image for you to describe.
Okay. So we have 2 figures. One of them might be like some sort of cursed angel, and the other one has a flower in her mouth, and I'm not sure if she's wearing any pants. And oh wait, these are both like in the sky, because now at first I thought they were like resting on flowers, but now I see there's the shape of humans at the bottom. I mean, I think that this woman, the one with the flower in her mouth, she looks sexy. She looks kind of creepy.
Yeah, and what's underneath them?
You have like, humanity. You have class struggle underneath them. the proletariat.
Just people.
Yeah.
Figures of people.
Uh-huh.
And so this art, this piece of art, I'm not going to give you the details. And the details for all this will be added to an Instagram post later. But we've been talking about this idea. Where do you place this painting?
Sexy.
Why?
I think like this woman, I think part of it is like, you know, we got a lot of skin over here.
The woman does not have pants on.
Yeah.
Or underwear on.
Uh-huh.
So she's just cheeked out.
Yeah, definitely. The way that she's gazing, the way that she's holding that flower in her mouth.
Kind of like a tango dancer.
Yeah. The way that the angel is kind of almost caressing her head, it just feels very sensual.
I would say it is very sensual. The name of the piece is a little morbid, but this angelic figure is supposed to be Satan. It's and frankly, when I see this, if you don't mind me saying, this seems like a sex act.
Yeah.
In the way that it's almost like this angelic figure is about to insert either a sex toy or some fingers into this woman. And this woman is ready for it. She's excited for it.
Uh-huh.
And then underneath these figures, these humanoid figures, they seem to be either running, they're active. They're active in some way.
Definitely.
But I think they're dancing.
Okay.
I think overall this lands on sexy because it provides you those images of what you would associate with sex.
Yeah.
Nakedness, caressing of the body and the jubilation of it represented in the bottom side of it. So I want to give this final piece because to me, I feel like I can do this. Mm-hmm. I feel like I could be any one of these characters. I could be the jubilance in the audience. I can be the feminine figure on the cloud, or I can be the angelic figure ready to pleasure the woman here.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see you in any of these.
I can be any one of these, but how can I be cute? The whole ass package that I got going on. The tall, the dark-haired, dark-eyed, broad-shouldered man. Like, how can I become cute? And I think I found a direction. This image right here is part of the Chicano art movement. And I want to show you some inspiration that I'm taking. What I'm going to show you is a gentleman named Rafa Esparza. He's an artist out of LA. And I want you to describe the first image that you were seeing.
First of all, we got some really cool sunglasses. And we have like a reddish pink. It looks like body paint. But also, we got some undergarments.
Not just undergarments. It's kind of a silky.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say underwear, but more of a trouser, more of a loincloth. Yeah. Almost.
And we have what appears to be lots of flower tattoos. So yeah, this is looking pretty sexy to me.
So Rafa here has also some big nails.
Uh-huh.
Very well decorated nails.
Yeah, we got like gold, and we got like a lot going on. Definitely some gold all over the place.
In the mustache.
Yeah.
And also a buzz cut.
Uh-huh.
Like there is an interplay here, right? In between kind of gender expectations.
Definitely. Yeah, and we got a side view of the nipple, and that's looking pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And where would you put this?
I say sexy.
Okay. So what is this image that we are seeing now?
We still have the loincloth, but we don't have the body paint. And, now we see like this entire man's face, and he definitely looks older in this picture. And he's standing next to a chair, and this feels cuter.
I think he does look cute here. And I can't exactly pinpoint why,
Uh-huh.
other than saying in comparison.
Exactly, yeah.
The comparison here is the entirety, because he is wearing less.
Yes.
He is less flashy. But this is still like a man. Like he's got tattoos.
Uh-huh.
He's got a fairly fleshy body, muscularish. Like if you've been around Latino men, you know exactly what I'm saying. Kinda not super slim, but meaty.
Uh-huh. I mean, I think this photo still is sexy, and I think that like there's more sexiness in this photo than a lot of the photos that we've like looked at that have gone into the cute category, but definitely in comparison to the other photo, it's definitely more cute.
Yeah, and he still has the buzz cut. He still has the mustache.
Uh-huh.
And I am so struck with these images the first time I saw them. He's an artist. He's about 50 years old. He's from LA. He's part of the Chicano movement. And this to me felt like a black flash. Like I feel like I learned a lot by seeing this image here.
Yeah, AP is trying to hit a black flash in one hit, and he just did it.
Mm-hmm. And once again, these images are going to be on the Instagram, and also on the he'll be tagged. But I gained so much inspiration from the Chicano culture. And I'm going to scroll down a little bit more, and I'm going to say it up front first. This guy named Juan Daniel Garcia Trivatillo as Ulysses from I'm No Longer Here.
Okay.
What do you see?
Wearing a yellow outfit, we got like what appears to be yellow flowers in the hair, and we got yellow pants, and this person is like standing up high because we see the top of buildings in the background. Arms are outstretched, so definitely almost like balancing on something.
He's dancing. He's dancing cumbia here. This part of a movie, but in this scene he's dancing cumbia. And the outfit that he's wearing is yellow, with kind of what you would see designs on a handkerchief as paisley. It's called paisley. But it's oversized.
Yeah.
Right? And the hairstyle is a little unique. I'm not going to describe it here, but it's unique. This is cute.
Yeah.
This to me is cute.
Definitely.
And I see inspiration here for me. And specifically wearing baggier clothes.
Yeah.
In a very oxymoronic way. Wearing bigger clothes would make me cuter.
Yeah, I'm excited to see, like after AP gets all the clothes that he gets after being inspired by this, we can post all that shit on Instagram, and then it's gonna go viral because people can be like, damn, AP got so cute. How did that happen?
Well, I'll never tell, other than to you, listener. So we got one last image here, and this last image is a photo by John Valdez, who also made that painting.
Okay. So yeah, white tank top. We got a belt and blue. I'm trying to tell if this is pants or like a.
These are pants. Those are pants.
They're like very flowy pants.
They're pleated, oversized dress pants.
Uh-huh.
And they are belted at the waist.
Yeah. Definitely doing something with the hands, like maybe snapping or something. So I wouldn't be surprised if this was also a dance picture.
This is just photography. The hands are just incidental. This is an uncredited person. I could not figure out who they were, but it's not the photographer.
Okay.
And this gentleman here is also wearing a fishnet and his hair.
Yeah.
But where do you put this?
This one is actually a little bit harder for me. Like, I feel like it kind of is like more in the middle for me.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree. And that's kind of the ultimate point here. I need to find a way to have that internal transformation, so people can see the cute or the sexy, depending on what I'm trying to highlight. And I don't know where that's all gonna go to, listener. I don't know, but this is just kind of where I am right now.
Yeah. Exciting times in the life of AP.
I walked us through all of that to talk about a movie called And Then We Danced.
Yep, this is a movie that we both watched, and it's about Georgia, but not the Georgia in the United States.
That's a joke. Literally every single informative article and video I watched about Georgia made.
I mean, we just have to do it, like, because otherwise, how are people going to know?
And it's a queer movie in between these young adults. They're kind of like
young men.
Yeah, like in their early 20s.
Yeah, they like to dance.
They dance for the national ensemble for Georgian dance, the traditional dance for Georgia. And in it, it's a kind of a romantic story, a drama also. And to cut to the point, our protagonist is kind of enamored with a new dancer that arrived to the ensemble.
Yeah. At the beginning of the movie, he's kind of dating this girl who we'll get into. But then he sees this new guy, this replacement. And I feel like at first part of it is that his teacher is praising this other guy and like using this other guy to like put him down. Like, oh, it's good that you're practicing with him. It's good to learn from people who are better than you. But yeah, over time, the glances increase. The interesting thing is, like, when I first started watching the movie, there was like a lot of like the men kind of like hanging on each other's shoulders and stuff, so they feel like a little bit more touchy.
They're dancers.
Yeah,
these are people that know each other intimately.
So yeah, like at the beginning when the new guy is like touching our protagonist, like kind of almost like holding him against the wall. At first you're like, well, they're this is just what they do. But then you're like, no, this is queer. Like obviously they want to fuck each other, and reader, they did.
Yeah. And it's kind of a slow build up. Yeah, there's glances, there's little touches here and there. There's kind of a this almost supportive approach to each other. But these two main characters, to me, fit perfectly at the end of the spectrum here. One is cute, the protagonist, mad, and one is sexy.
Yeah, I mean, so at the beginning of the movie, our love interest, he likes to talk about sex. Like in the locker room, he likes to talk about, his sexual experiences. But then like when they're like, oh, hey, why don't you come with us to, like either go to a brothel or like go to like a place to like get women. He's like, oh, but I have a girlfriend back at home, so I'm not going to do that. And then he gets into a fight with this other guy when the other guy's like, oh, is she good? So that's kind of the kind of guy that we're dealing with.
Yeah, just kind of he's so the main character is fairly hairless, a little waifish. He kind of looks like twinked up Jeremy Allen White.
Yeah, the comparison I made was he's a mix between Jeremy Allen White and Mike Feist, who you may know from Challengers and West Side Story.
And then the other guy, his name is Iraqi, and he's got like a 5 o'clock shadow. He's got a little more hair to him. Not too much, but just a tiny bit more hair to him. And he dances more aggressively. He's a more natural talent, and he's favored by the instructor.
Yeah, definitely. My main critique of this guy is he looks too much like the main character's brother. Is it the fact that like all these like white Georgians just look so similarly to each other?
Yeah, I'm not gonna touch that. Sorry, but like they don't look the same to me. But I think this romantic interest fits into the sexy category, but as the movie goes on and on, they actually switch places regularly.
Yeah. I think the biggest example of this is my favorite scene in the movie where our protagonist is dancing to Honey by Robin, and he puts a blonde wig on his head and he's dancing for this other guy, and it was that was sexy to me.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, and it's like Honey is this very like queer song, and like I paused the movie and I texted AP after I watched that scene. That's how much I liked it.
And it's a good one, especially because it's like after they first have a sexual encounter with each other, which is just a little bit of a mutual tug in the woods. And I want to talk about that scene for just 1 second.
Yeah.
If these characters switch in and out of sexy and cute, at that moment, how do we place this framework onto that sex scene?
I mean, I think you got to go with sexy because, it's almost like it's in the word. But I mean, the thing about that scene is that they're kind of sneaking off to do this and they don't really like speak. It's more, they kind of communicate with their eyes and they communicate with their bodies. And, that's sexy. Of course, at the very end, though, it's kind of awkward. So it kind of loses its sexiness for a bit there. But I feel like at that point, we're outside of the dichotomy of sexiness and cute. And
I have to disagree.
We're at human.
Yeah. We're always at human. We're no longer talking about vampires.
Oh.
I think the kind of like aftercare is cute because clearly this is the first time our protagonist has had a gay sexual encounter.
Yeah.
But there's a little bit of this tenderness, this idea of, hey, it's okay. It's normal. It's acceptable. And the way that they do it, they embrace each other. Just a very loose hug, a very friendly hug even. And I think, that's what I like about this movie. It really just shows that cute and sexy jump back and forth. And they're contextual and they're based on energy and image. Because later on, there's another sex scene.
Someone goes down on someone else.
Yeah. Our sexy man goes down our cute man.
Yeah, exactly. And their bodies are definitely more fluid with each other in that scene. I feel like now they're less anxious about it and they're just like, I'm following my body's desires.
And I think that makes it more tender. I think that makes it cuter even. It's a hot scene, sure. Yeah, we can say that. But I think once there's a little more relaxation and a little more understanding between each other, there's almost this lack of edge that a lot of people provide to sex. So that's like edged off. And that allows this more emotional connection, more tender connection, as I said.
Yeah. It does eventually get to a point where it becomes more of an anxious attachment, especially because our love interest disappears for part of the movie, and he keeps trying to text and call him. And spoiler alert, but remember that girlfriend we mentioned? Well, he's gonna go back to that girlfriend. But yeah, he can always reflect on those tender moments he had.
And even with as you said, the beard, the beard for a protagonist, like she's a cute lady. And I think together they actually become cuter.
Yeah, I agree. By the end of the movie, there's more of an understanding between them. She's actually able to see him for what he is. Because, at the beginning of the movie, like, she tries to have sex with him. She's like, I have a condom. Like, let's go fuck in the park. And he's like trying to avoid it. And he's like, oh, I want it to be special. But then, of course, then he actually fucks
At what's effectively a park.
Yeah, he's fucking in the woods there. but there is the conflict between, I went so far into the Jeremy Allen White of it all that I was calling the beard Claire, off of the bear. So like in my head, I was like literally like, oh yeah, Claire is my favorite character in this movie. Like, yeah, she's not the most well developed character, but I'm such a lesbian that I love Claire. But yeah, by the end of the movie, like she's just happy for him when he's like dancing and like she's crying for him. And there's that moment near the end when she's like, oh, I'll wait for you. And it reminded me of our critique of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, where we're like, we love Winry, but we don't love a character who's just waiting. We want a female character who's a little bit more proactive. But better luck next time, Claire, even though that's not your name.
Yeah. This movie about two gay men is not the most female focused.
Yeah.
And it ends with this big dance scene where I see this idea of cuteness and sexiness in the way that is transformed, and negotiated with the observers fully there. And because he starts off trying to be this very aggressive, macho, masculine energy, where he is hitting the ground hard, kind of like how contemporary Georgian dance is. Look up some videos. It's a beautiful dancing. And he's failing because he's injured. He can't hit hard. He can't dance hard because he's injured. And when he decides to no longer accept this sense of high masculinity or high aggressiveness and softens up a little bit, the way that he starts dancing, flowing around, like right there is that image. Once again, we go from hard to soft.
Yeah.
And therefore we have cuteness.
And at that point, he's not really performing for the old men who are going to decide whether he becomes like a professional dancer anymore. He's more dancing for himself, and he's having a lot more fun with it. Like, I think at that point, he realizes that what's inside him, which part of that is his queerness, and part of that is him not wanting to have to do everything exactly the way that these old men want to, the way that the Georgian dance has like evolved into this more masculine thing. He wants to do like what his heart wants to do, and he lets that flow.
Mm-hmm. And I am taking inspiration from that too. This and to kind of end here. There is no strict path I can take forward. I will continue to think about this, and I will continue to live with this idea of how can I access that cuteness within me? How am I allowed to do that too? Because if I can once again say that I think I fit into the sexiness kind of just normally, I have to figure that out. And this kind of stuff helps me.
Well, I'm glad that we can create this environment for you to like process these feelings and these ideas. Because like a year from now, you can be like, damn, I'm so fucking cute. Like, oh yeah, these Georgian dancers, they ain't got nothing on me. So yeah, I'm excited for the future.
And that is why I made that little recitation in the beginning. Whether or not it's good, I don't care. I think if you're listening to this and you want to help me move towards that a grander version of me who can be cute and sexy, doing stuff like that recitation is what I need to do. And I would appreciate both encouragement and also even just acknowledgement of it. So thank you for listening.
Yeah. Thank you all. Make sure you check us out on Instagram at Doveweather. We're on YouTube And you can find us obviously on any podcasting platform. So why not rate us? Why not review us? Why not give us 5 stars?
And tell your mother, tell your grandmother, tell your bizarre working father. Bizarre like the location, not the adjective. Thank you for listening. We will see you soon.
Bye.